Okay, the time is 6:30, and I will call this February 13th, 2017 work session of the Snellville Mayor and City Council to order. First of all, we'll have our regular business and public hearing agenda items. Is there anything on there that anyone would like to discuss? Any questions or concerns? Additions, deletions? I think this is probably the first time that Christy and Roger, that you have seen a consent agenda. Did you notice the consent agenda? Okay.
We've seen it before.
Have you had items
We've
on
had
there
it
before? You've seen this?
Yeah.
Okay, great, good. So you don't have any objections for that. Anyone else have any objections or anything on the consent agenda? Great.
No consent.
The form of the motion for the, oh, no, the financing is all under the consent agenda, so we don't need a motion. Okay, never mind.
You good?
Yep.
Okay. And, good, then we're good there. Do we have any correspondence?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Powell?
Just a need for an executive session.
Okay. Certified City of Ethics Program. They have my name behind it, but I'll let, all we really want to do is just go ahead and get permission to resubmit, correct?
Correct. I guess the city has been officially a City of Ethics, a program that GMA started really, I guess, 2 decades ago, trying to put a spotlight on the good work that local governments do. And this is basically just re-upping for the city.
So, if no one has any, that's not something we actually have to vote on, but unless, anyone has, do we have to vote on it?
It's a resolution.
Is it a resolution? Okay, well then let's just put it on the calendar on the next.
Because everybody is resolving to follow these
Okay,
tenets.
well then we'll put it on the next meeting agenda and approve that, or vote on it rather. We'll get it done. Temporary signage during intersection construction, David?
I think that's.
Yeah, I think Jason's got a couple of items there for your discussion.
As we come up on the intersection of Grove, we're gonna have businesses that are impacted basically with their monument signage. M&P Shopping Centers is the first request we've seen for how they're gonna mitigate once they remove their permanent monument signs. They're gonna need some time in between the removal of their existing sign and then later on the construction of their new sign, which will meet code. So we wanted to just make sure Mayor and Council was okay with us working up probably a resolution to allow for that a time period during construction to allow these businesses to have pretty much what would be a double-faced 8x4. That's the size of basically a plywood sheet at each curb cut to indicate enter here with directional signage, and then some logos for their tenants. And this is just to kind of pass that around, something that they've presented. Just something simple to get them through and allow for, because the access drives will change, and instead of amending the entire sign ordinance, we could just get a
So
resolution.
each one of these represents a double-sided 4x8,
Mhm.
and they'd be placed just at various locations
Yeah,
all
typically,
throughout.
we would want to regulate them to 1 per curb cut, so they don't clutter, the area.
Well, you say one set of 3 per curb cut,
Just
or
one.
one? So they'd have to pick which one they wanted
Well,
at that
each-
curb cut?
Yeah, each curb cut. Directional, they could do a different message on each side too.
Okay, so they're not stuck to doing the same message on both sides?
We're just really the 4x8 sign, the temporary
No more
sign.
than 8
I think we
feet
gotta
tall.
do whatever we can to make
I
that
agree.
transition easy
I agree.
and to be as,
Yeah, I think we need to be as lenient
And
as
we-
we
yeah.
It's the
possibly
same thing
can.
we did for the LCI businesses.
yeah. Of course, this is gonna be, I think this is gonna be a bigger deal than the LCI,
It'll be
because the
longer.
LCI never stopped traffic, actually.
Yeah, well, you don't have 50-mile-an-hour traffic.
We'll
That's
work
true,
with
yeah.
Tony and Chuck on some kind of resolution, at least set some kind of parameters, so there's something we can look and apply.
Yeah, just give
across
yourself
the
plenty of
board.
leeway to,
Yeah, So we just wanted, you know, the last we want to do is hurt any of the businesses in the city that are going to be affected by
We
it.
don't have 50-mile-an-hour traffic through there anyway, it's 60, 65, so,
Or it's not, or it's 10.
or it's not.
Usually a blue light right behind them.
I was at the chamber and a very prominent developer pulled me aside and asked me if Highway 78 in Snellville was a speed trap. I gave the very famous Roy Whitehead answer, no, we only stop the ones that are speeding. That wasn't you, was it? He said, well, yeah, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, was the policeman nice? He goes,
I
yeah.
am.
Good.
Move on.
Nothing good ever happens after midnight.
That's right.
Well, that's when you find out who your friends really are.
Yeah.
Well, if it does happen good, you don't remember it.
Discussion of wireless service at Parks and Rec.
You know, we have the Betty McMichael area there that's rented from time to time, and, you know, we have meetings over there, and it just seems to be a logical next step to having wireless here, to having wireless there. So I wanted to bring it up for discussion and see what kind of thoughts everybody had about having, because we don't have it over there. So we don't, so when people do rent the room and they're gonna use it and they may need it for some type of presentation or, you know, I know when we have our meetings over there, we don't have any Wi-Fi over
Who has the
there.
telephone service over there? Who
Bush.
supplies the telephone service?
Bell
BC or I thought it's only,
Yeah.
who,
AT&T.
who is it?
It's switched, so I don't know who that newest one is, Melissa. It's not AT&T anymore. I
Well,
can't think of the name.
Why don't we just investigate and see how much it costs to just
be
have
that much to
a
put
modem put on the existing telephone
Right.
lines?
So,
AOL.
yeah, anything.
No,
that
no,
would-
not a telephone, no, an actual
Well,
Wi-Fi
just
line.
like you would have at home.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like whoever.
that's all we really
Yeah.
need.
Whoever the phone carrier
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Put a DSL modem on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, why don't we just ask staff then to get us look
Okay.
at that and get us, find out how much.
Okay.
That should be next to nothing. You know.
That's
Look
kind of
at,
my,
maybe,
it's
if
kind
you
of my
have
thing.
Comcast Business will, I mean, I pay I think $49 a month or something for
Yeah.
Comcast Business. No, I guess
It just seems to be the
it's not much.
next step, as long as far as, you know, we're not having anything over there with regard to city documents and stuff. We just gotta make sure it's protected, that's be the only thing.
So you just,
There won't be anything on it really, as long as we don't hook it up to our servers, just leave it as a independent Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Nobody can get out.
yeah, that's the only thing, just let's think that, you know, just,
and you're interested in the facility, you aren't interested in the park as a whole?
no, not the park as a whole, I
Okay.
think we start there, cause,
Okay.
you know, I think that's the only place
If you
really.
had it in the park
That's the only
office, they
place
probably
it's-
the softball fields would still be able to pick it up. You
Could
know,
very well,
probably.
could very well, yeah, could very well. So, but no, I'm just, right now, just the building itself.
Okay, update on ongoing projects.
Basically, what you have is a new draft. I tried to add some items from our retreat, and I need to make sure I hit on the things that you want in here. But we'll start at the top, and then we'll go over those new ones down at the bottom. Town Center Working Plan, I can tell you that because of our discussion, we've had a lot of follow-up with several people in several areas, so I need a little time in the executive session to update you on that. I'm going to let Mr. Emanuel tell you about a meeting we had with the official from Kennesaw State with Eric, and that really impacts on two different items here. It also impacts on a new one, business retention and attraction. But Dave, you can update them on.
Kennesaw State has a pretty aggressive entrepreneur program for, not just for startups in terms of kids. They do work with the entire Brookwood cluster, and they would very much like to have a presence on this side of town. So we're looking at how we can get that implemented to begin with, and possibly down the road expand it to a full satellite campus. The representative was very interested in coming here because they could serve everybody east, everybody south, because they don't want to drive from here to Kennesaw. So he was very encouraging, and I'm sure he's going to get back to Eric in the near future and see how we take the first step and then move along from there.
Cool.
And he's a very aggressive person who's had a lot of success in a short amount of time at Kennesaw.
And he had formerly been at UGA, and I think got fed up with the bureaucracy there and moved over to Kennesaw State, and kind of has open reins in terms of what he wants to do, and doesn't get a lot of, well, we have to do this, we have to do, well, yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
So I think if we can get something going with him, it'll be a really good start. It's not just going to be something small, it'll grow. And I think it's imperative we get some kind of college
Yeah.
presence in the town center.
Big time.
Number two, Town Center Joint City and County Plans. Regarding another item in the Town Center, I had a chance to talk with our commissioner last week and remind him that we needed to get a meeting set up. I don't know if you talked to anybody at the chamber dinner or anything like that.
He wasn't there.
Okay. But we need to let the chairman know also.
I can give the chairman.
Public relations and marketing. I know there was a meeting with, I think, Eric and Brian and Steve Darrell.
Yeah, Jeremy was there.
Jeremy was. And working on 2 new town center videos for social media. Barbara, I think you spent some time with Brian today talking about a little bit of the history of the town center and what one of those videos would contain. So, you know, I think when we discussed it that Saturday, we said, let's keep it moving, let's keep it fresh, and that's what we're trying to do. So I think these will be positive, and we continue to get positive feedback and a lot of interest in our in the Facebook page.
Well, and on that note too, Brian and I were talking about the spring issue of the Spirit magazine will be coming out right towards the end of March, 1st of April. And each spring we've done a little feature on Town Center. The first one was a whole, how did it start and
Wow.
where we got to. And it was interesting going back and looking at that, because right towards the end when we were saying these are the things that we were doing next, it was the Town Center Park and the Veterans Memorial Park, and now they're done. So then the next year it was the Town Center Park was in progress. So now we're going to come back with more future steps coming on. So
One other, going back to number one other town center item that we can talk about, CPL, Clark Patterson and Lee will be here on the 13th of March to give an update on their stormwater work. On the,
they'll be here at the work session.
yes. On their regional stormwater planning. Town hall meetings, we really need to kind of firm that up. We're still looking at March 16th. We don't really have an exact topic yet. We need to.
Well, we discussed at the last meeting, we discussed the CFI, and we discussed
Keeping the town center.
keeping the town center as part of it, because that draws people.
Yeah.
But
But we talked about narrowing the
Narrowing it
scope
down,
just
right.
down to pretty much one. And I
Yeah.
think the focus was the, what are we calling it now? Delayed left turn?
Displaced left turn.
Displaced left turn now. Pick one.
displaced it
But
to
I think you tag along though. I don't think you put a lot of emphasis on the town center just for the meeting, but you make it, I think you put it on there to do a draw, I think. But you address those that ask the question about it. Yeah, sure.
So we really need, DOT representatives to be the presenters, really. The out front folks to talk about what the status is.
My concern, and maybe it's a moot concern or one I shouldn't be worried about, my concern is if you put down that it's just the CFI, all you're gonna get is a few business people that are, and I don't see the general public coming to that. And I could be wrong.
No. I'm not suggesting don't put it on there. I'm just suggesting don't make it the
Yeah,
headline.
but-
Don't make it the headliner.
Right,
I guess.
and the other side of that is if we kinda make that part of it and then we don't give much information, either the next time you put it on, they're not gonna come, because they're gonna think, well, last time I went, they didn't say nothing, so I'm not coming back. So it's kinda like a double-edged sword,
Mm-hmm.
Because we really do want attendance.
Right.
I think
Can we come up with
DOT,
something that,
needs to be
that
front
date
and
is a
center.
conflict?
we need to step away from this, I think.
I don't think
Just bear in
so.
mind, you're not gonna have,
We
your
were originally
attendance is
saying-
gonna be off.
Oh, I know.
Didn't you come up with something?
But I
at the
think we need to,
beginning
we need to put it
talking
together
about-
because we still get people saying, well, the city should, the city should, the city should. And they don't really get it, that this is a
17th.
Georgia DOT project.
St. Patrick.
That needs to come across somehow, whether you have it with something else or not. We need to put that
Well,
on.
I mean,
Well,
we
would
need to,
we-
we need to discuss it and come up with something, because we can't put it off, you know, I mean, we only have 30 days if we fix something tonight.
Would we be better off to just go ahead and bite the bullet and say, hey, this is just gonna be the CFI? And then at that meeting, go ahead and announce the one for the town center, knowing we're not gonna get the kind of attendance for town center, and then dedicate one to the town center.
Well, that would be, the next one could be all town center. You know, I don't think people, one thing is, I don't think people understand this thing's gonna get started here in 6 months.
Well, my issue with making this about the
4
CFI
months? 4 months.
is
Be under
that
construction.
Yeah.
when you put that out there, it's gonna be people, I mean, the last town hall meeting we had with that on there, our expectation was, we're just gonna show you how this intersection works, kind of show you, you know, what it's gonna do. Everyone else's expectation was, how does this affect my property? Does my business need to move? What are you gonna do about my business? What are you gonna do about these businesses? And it was more, that was more the expectation. And then when we weren't there to answer those questions, or we as the city don't have those answers because it's in state right-of-way acquisition and we don't have, we're not privy to those discussions, everybody was getting frustrated. So I have a, and we don't know much more than we
Yeah, but
knew
we
at
have
the
them
last
there.
one.
We'll have Georgia DOT.
But what are they gonna say? They're in right-of-way acquisition and they're not gonna tell you anything.
Well, I think that
But-
the right acquisition's done. I mean, they're letting the project win. They're letting it in June. Acquisition's over. They got 2 properties they're having problems with on acquisition. And the rest of them, I think they
I
have.
think to
So,
Tom's point though, I
KFC.
think those that are being affected will have, should have already really had
Reviews.
conversations or know something. Those that are asking about other businesses, it's probably moot anyway, because they don't have a real value interest in it.
I can
So,
see
mean,
those people coming and saying, okay, now that this is happening,
Yeah.
you know, what are you gonna do for me about my signs or something like that? I think you're gonna have those people there, absolutely.
Well, the other part
I
of
think you
that
can
too.
count on M&P being there, you know,
Well,
things
the-
like that.
And I think the other part of that too is that I think we need to send the message, because we are concerned about the traffic and making sure people either go at High Point or go at McGee. And I think we need to re-emphasize those, you know,
Alternate paths.
exit strategies. I think we need to really promote.
Is the county
What's
gonna
it?
put, that's a good question, are county gonna put up detour signs at High Point?
The state will.
The state,
I'm sorry, the
yeah, the
state
state will.
And they'll
My-
start the detours there?
That's,
at
that
High
was
Point?
the last conversation I think we had was that was
That was
the
it.
desire.
They like
yeah.
that idea.
Yeah, they want to start it as soon as possible.
And then what are all the businesses that are not affected? I'm thinking out loud. The businesses between High Point and Nob Hill that are not affected by the turn, they're gonna be there saying, you're taking my traffic away because, well, I'm just saying, that's what's gonna be there.
Anybody going to those businesses is gonna go to those businesses.
Right, you got like
You're
local
not gonna
traffic
take that
only or
into
something
account.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's, you're not gonna get a guy going to Athens and says, oh, God, there's the Payless shoe store. I think I'll stop. No offense to Joe.
Well, we'll send them to Joe's. That's what we'll do.
You know, they may need,
Stop
a
way before.
Better
they may
location
need a
if you
mattress
have-
on the way. I don't know.
Maybe we should just put Payless Shoe
It's
Store
just to be the
detour
weekend.
here, down at the store.
There you go.
No, I think Barbara's right. I think, you know, they're going to those stores. They're gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, all we're doing is supplying options.
And then we're gonna have Kurt there,
We're not-
on the sign at Nob Hill. Look, he's over there, he's already done, you know, he's gonna be there.
He's already constructed the gate.
So are we agreeing that we make it about the CFI? Let's ask staff how they, to put it together on how they want it worded and everything and
We'll talk to
keep it.
DOT.
Well, and I would talk to DOT, if
Yeah.
they don't have anything substantive that they're gonna
Yeah,
really
yeah.
give to
And
people,
they might want
Then
to.
what's our backup, then what is the
then
backup?
I think all we're asking for is a lot of frustrated people that
Okay,
night.
then what is our backup
Well, that's a
topic?
good question.
Oh,
Okay, so
Backup
if
topic
we,
would
gonna
be
say
the town
cancel.
center, all by itself.
well, let's talk
Guess
about
so.
that, man, because if we don't get any kind of information from the DOT for 2 weeks, that's really gonna throw us behind from a marketing standpoint. In our minds right this minute, we didn't really want a backup plan, because we said we would do the town center after this one. So let's say we don't do this one, let's just say we don't. Let's go ahead and plan the town center one for April, and be planning that and marketing that. And
Okay,
going
well,
ahead.
let's do this. All right,
So-
this March, we'll take the March, we'll suspend the date, okay? And let staff, let Butch find out, because DOT may not be able to make it that night anyway, but maybe there's a night, we'll work around them. But again, if they don't have, I'm very much with Barbara. If they're just gonna come over and show us the video again, I'm sorry, we don't need you. If they can give us exact, like, okay, this is how you're gonna have to go down, Henry
This
Flower
is, this
or.
is phase one, this
Right.
is how long we anticipate it happening,
Right,
this is
and
phase
this is the routes,
two,
the
this
routing,
is.
and show the routes and stuff like that, so, then I think there's, and then we, the city can tell them about signage and stuff like that.
If,
so we
if
can
they
then-
could talk more towards how everything's gonna flow during construction, how will they make arrangements for people to still get in the operating businesses while the construction's
Right.
going on,
How
as
do we
much
get
as they
from A
can.
to Z?
Right,
What happens from A to Z?
what kind of accommodations are they
Right.
making at this point, that when construction's going, this is
Right.
what the
And then
avenues
if
will be.
maybe they'll get some input from people on things that
Yeah.
are their concerns that they can work on before the construction.
Right. I mean, if we could center it around that, I think we're giving people something to
I
come out
agree.
for.
And as far as our venue, is Snellville UMC still willing to, is that still the venue of choice, or is that?
It's worked pretty well so far.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Reverend,
'Cause
Reverend
we'd have to-
Boyles from First Baptist is gonna be here tonight too.
Yeah,
We could
I'm
ask
sure
him
we
if
can get that, he's eager to participate in
Yeah,
community
so
stuff. so.
maybe
Okay.
we have,
Either
maybe
one.
we have.
Well, I'm
a
just
bid
saying,
this
if we
time.
hadn't picked a venue, we need to think
Yeah.
about
We
that.
need to do that, yeah.
And
Well,
think
we,
about,
One-
and right now, I'm hearing we're gonna do this one in March and do one in April. And I think
We'll
April's
get some
fine.
input on the date from DOT.
Yeah.
Well, let's not put the one in April in concrete, maybe we'll wait.
No,
till
I'm just
June.
thinking from a thinking standpoint, because now that we're pushing, ramping up Facebook stuff, we're looking at videos and things like that, let's, try to time all that appropriately.
Great.
And one thing that you haven't mentioned again is right-of-way acquisition. And those folks are gonna be there again, I'll guarantee you. And DOT even wanna talk about that. So I don't know how to control that.
I thought all the right-of-way acquisition pretty much was accomplished. If they're gonna start
It's-
construction in 4 months, they gotta own the property.
But there still will be.
They get it immediately when they file. The issues aren't resolved, and it's sort of twofold. You get all the questions, you get people coming in to set up the DOT and their defenses. And the DOT's not gonna wanna talk about any of that. You're gonna get, part of their defense is gonna be, they want you to make exceptions where they can put their signs back. And the way they are, instead of being to the current code when they get taken down. So sort of a policy standpoint, you need to decide how you're gonna do that, how you're gonna communicate those things, and whether it's just, okay, it gets taken, you gotta go to the new rules. Those are the targeted, see, it's gonna be acquisition people, that's who you ran into last time, it's acquisition people coming in, defending themselves and wanting to know. Nobody's gonna really know the traffic, answers until the contractor, he's gotta come in, he's actually gonna be rerouting people and deciding the steps.
So we'd be
And so
ahead of that.
You'd be wise to maybe get this one into bid time, because they would appreciate it. Contractor would probably appreciate having a forum to come in and say, guys, here's how we're gonna do it. And by that time, most of the, probably a lot of the cases will be settled.
But then we're talking July
You're
for
talking
that
July.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm confused again.
Well, we might just not need a town hall meeting right now.
I'll talk to DOT. Let me get DOT's input, and we'll talk about all these
March
possible.
Madness.
I don't think we have a meeting until we have a good solid topic that's
I
gonna
agree,
provide
yeah,
some
I just-
good
We'll
benefit
punt
for
the
people.
staff.
Don't wanna go through that
Figure
again.
something
Don't wanna go through that again.
Okey-dokey, all right. Let's go
I
on
like
to the
having
next one.
answers for people. All right, the UDO is continuing. I know we handed out some information last time. TSW will be scheduling a meeting soon on the rest of the UDO. Charter Review Committee, Tony, I think you've got a report later on that?
Yeah, y'all have the charter amendments in your inbox email this afternoon, so there's 6 of them. And so it's ready to go. There's a tendency to create some potential legal claims that's one of the executive session topics, is to talk about the potential legal claims that might arise. And after that, we're free to move forward.
Okay, we'll discuss that in the next session.
Roundabout construction at North Road right now. There's an item on the consent agenda that is basically donating the city property needed. We are down to one property owner on that. And,
At both roundabouts or just one?
no, this is just at North.
This is North and
At
Forest?
Ridgedale, we still have an issue with one property owner there also.
Do we have DDR squared away?
What's DDR is
That's the one.
is the
That's all.
property owner
Everybody else is?
at North.
That'd be the one.
What about the guy who didn't want to move?
That's not.
That's
the
the
other
other
one.
That's
Oh,
Ridgedale.
that's the only one.
Yeah.
So you have one at each?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're talking again next week. Oak Road Park work is commenced. You'll see some soil erosion work going on out there and some orange fencing protecting some trees. 78 and 124, we kind of just beat that one around a little while ago. And the next 5 are new from the retreat. Of course, the Youth Commission Outreach Coordinator, Eric's been working with Christie. Job description and administrative guidelines are complete. I guess you're kind of in the recruiting process. So,
Probably March 1st. It's mostly about my pool of candidates making their college decisions. And hopefully one of them will be local.
Good deal. Business and retention and attraction. Once again, that higher ed discussion plays into this. And there was Mr. Mayor, I know you were going to appoint a committee of who were folks who knew the real estate market very well. And so we're talking about recruiting and retaining, both in the town center and beyond.
Yep.
Okay. Public safety technology efforts. I know Roy is working on body camera needs replacement. He's also kind of just barely scratched the surface on security camera needs. And there's one other issue there. Dave, you had talked about a fixed camera for the memorial and the green. We're very close to ordering those. We think Public Works can install those, and we can do those in-house. So we'll keep you updated on that. HVAC needs, we've identified vendors. We're putting together, I guess, information to where we can move towards solving our problem. We're talking to, what I would call experienced folks who know commercial HVAC. And I'll have a report for you, probably be 30 days, but I'll have a report back for you on our HVAC. We've been fortunate with a patch to this point, but it's constant. And the final one is the Arts Commission Rewind. I know there's some conversations going on there with some new members, since we pretty much had lost a lot of
I'll have
folks.
something probably by the next meeting when I get together with some.
Okay.
Some of them are out of town.
Good deal.
That's it.
If there's anything else, just
Any other discussions for the work council before we go into executive session? Seeing none, during the work session of the mayor and city council, of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Witz announced that certain matters should be discussed in a closed section of the meeting and asked council to advise the city with respect